We're excited to be here
Excited to have
as
you.
your first female guest of the podcast.
Second
Female guest.
second and a half.
First official.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
That'll
because
be
you guys
posted.
did call us yesterday on International Women's Day and begged us to
Yeah,
be on
you
the
guys
podcast.
were
We
like-
did. We
yeah.
did.
Yeah, so
Shout out
I
the
feel
ladies.
like this is kind of, I know we're kind of here on like voluntary, but also like
Yeah,
they made
like they're
us.
paying us, so.
We had
No,
to we had to
no,
buy
no,
him
no,
dinner.
no.
We had to
Yeah.
Uber him, all that, the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But we
Yes,
take care of him. It's
and
all
they're
right. It's
washing
good.
our cars too.
No, we ain't doing that.
Uh,
All right, so y'all, this is the PalmWavePodcast coming at you live right now. We got Montana Byrd and Lauren Simmonds up on this motherfucker. We're gonna chop it up for a little bit, see how their lives are going, see what they're doing for work, what they got going on today. So, ladies, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
all right, well, I'm Montana. This is Lauren. We've been best friends since sophomore year of high school.
Yep.
Brings me back to, I don't know, December 4th, 2010.
Hey.
One of the worst days of my life.
Montana publicly.
You know, remember Natalie Okolya's birthday party. Yeah.
Extravaganza.
It was a great day. Great day for me. But since then, she hated me before then. And then that day, I swear to God, it was the movie. I walk into the high school cafeteria at lunchtime. And I swear to God, I was like,
completely silent.
Montana.
yeah. No, and then like people were mean. Like,
Hell yeah, they are.
yeah, shout out Taylor Lugo. I mean, I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
I think I could still be petty now. For
Yeah,
that.
go ahead.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because he started this Facebook group that was like, oh, I know how to hold my liquor. LOL, JK, I'm
no.
Montana Byrd. You know?
No.
That's when that was popular.
Yeah, remember
remember
when you
that.
could just start a group?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
But-
that.
You'd be like, this person
Lauren-
sucks. I hope they die. And they'd be like, yay!
People like
100
join.
people want to join.
Goodness. But no, Lauren, Steven, and Paige kind of
Paige
took me
Lee.
in. And we also kind of convinced Paige to date Steven.
Yeah, but it's okay. I
Steven?
mean,
Just,
Stephen
Oh,
Oates Jones.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they're doing really great. Like both, I mean, separately,
yeah.
but they're both like thriving in their.
No, Steven for sure.
yeah.
Paige Leggio?
Yeah.
Really?
No,
They dated?
Paige Lee.
Oh,
Paige Lee. No, yeah,
The
Paige-
black
not-
lady.
yeah, yes,
Black
yes.
lady. Back
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I forgot. Yeah, Paige.
Yeah, no,
Leggio.
she's amazing. You should have
Yeah,
her on the
isn't it?
podcast, but
Paige
she
Leggio.
lives in Tallahassee. She's amazing.
What does she do?
She's a business owner. She has her own home. She's just an empowered female black woman who's like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Like,
shout
I
out to the
love her.
queens.
Yeah.
Yes, and honestly, sorry.
I think she's politically involved too. Like she's definitely
Yeah, no, she's active in her community and stuff.
Advocate.
Like, what
Yeah.
she's doing, like government shit? Like governor?
I think like just with her, she went to FAU and she was like very involved there, and I feel like she kind of stayed in Tallahassee and like kept roots with the university and like kind of like the local community and wherever.
Shout
all
out
that stuff.
Paige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I met Montana like the same time that my parents told me that I was moving to Texas. So I grew up in Tampa and I lived there till I was 17. And my junior year of high school, I moved across the country.
Well, tell us why you moved. Why you moved?
I moved for my parents' job, and it was definitely like a coming of age moment, as you would say, in like high school and stuff. But I feel like it was a very big moment for me because I was able to like stand on my own. My sister and I became best friends. I graduated high school and college from Dallas,
Hey,
University of North Texas. Go Mean Green.
green.
And then I got an internship at Disney.
Yeah, so you
after
like
I graduated.
reconnected. Yeah, like we used
Yeah,
to
we
like visit
stayed
each other.
Long distance
High school,
best friends.
college, yeah. And then we worked at Disney together doing different things.
Yeah.
And
I lived in Texas for like 7 years. And I constantly flew down to Tampa,
Oh yeah.
saw Montana and Jasmine McDuffie, Hard Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would come visit me. And I feel like it was a really cool time.
yeah.
Little
Then,
ladies'
yeah.
nights out, getting lit up, drinking mimosas.
Yeah, like catching up, being with your hometown friends. Nothing's better than that. I feel like that is the best
Valentine's Day.
type of like mood booster.
Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Valentine's
What
Day.
is that?
Get lit.
Oh yeah.
It's a
No,
day
we had it at
Have
remember?
you seen Parks and Rec? You gotta
Yeah, I've
try
seen
that.
Parks and
But you remember
Hilarious.
the one, the Valentine's Day?
Yeah, and we got really, really drunk.
We
You
got
dropped the
so
queso.
drunk. Yeah, this like
You
buffalo
dropped the queso
chicken
on the
dip
carpet.
from Publix. It was so hot, and I'm carrying it with my hands. Like, and I didn't realize it, and I thought I could just carry the top of it, and it just gave out, and the whole thing splattered all over this carpet. It's an apartment that me and my mom are renting,
Yeah.
and there's this buffalo chicken dip all over the carpet. It splatters up on the TV and the entertainment center.
We had this beautiful
And
party,
we were
but
just
all we
laughing
remember is
so
the
hard.
queso spill.
And I just remember looking at Samira being like, it was her fault. But no, 100% it was just me.
It was you, Montana. It was too hot. Your hands couldn't. Your hands couldn't handle it. Fucking hit the ground.
No, but Galentine's, yeah.
I feel like, just
bringing
having
us
like
closer together.
using good
Disasters.
excuses to see each other and celebrate, like for holidays. In college, we would visit each other during game days and
Gals,
Yeah.
like girls.
girls.
Gal
Yeah.
pals.
Galentine's
Your gal
Day.
pals.
LPL.
Yeah, I feel like it's a different, like your bro time. I feel like girls
Yeah,
need
you
their
know.
time
The girl
together
time,
too.
huh?
Bro time day.
So where you guys were doing that in Orlando?
No, that was
so that's when
when I was in college.
in college,
college?
she went to
Or
FSU.
maybe it was after.
college.
I don't
Well, I
know.
thought you
It was-
guys worked together at Disney.
Oh,
Yeah, we worked
so
together at
that was
Disney.
after college.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was fun. We were interns at Disney.
I thought you were
What-
on
what
like.
is-
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, like I'm just curious, like what the hell is the freaking Disney internship? Like everybody, like you always hear people
They're
doing that,
very-
but like what's the purpose?
Yeah.
They're
Like
very
who
different.
gets a Disney internship?
The
Long-
breakdown,
it's-
breakdown kind of just like the application, like I guess like how
So
many people
basically,
applying, then I guess
Disney
people.
runs off of college students.
So they got a whole
Cheaply
Carol Baskin
paid.
type thing going
So
on.
Cheaply
most of the
paid.
people that are working at Disney work a minimum wage job, and they are college students,
Or they're part time.
or they're part time, or they're really they've been there
Or
for
they're really
years.
old.
Yeah.
And this was pre-pandemic. I will say like pre-2020. I worked there. I got furloughed.
2018
But
or 20
so basically, like we worked there, and it was a very intense interview process. So post grad, it kind of got us like excited for.
Would they ask you like, when was Mickey Mouse first screened
Come
on
on now,
TV?
Danny,
no,
let's
it
not
was
with that.
more like it.
Just
it
like
kinda,
practical
It was
questions.
it
I
was
think.
good practice, like being post grad and having these intensive interviews.
Mm-hmm.
We had a questionnaire, we had a phone interview, and a couple screenings. And basically, after you made it, after each session, a lot of people would get dropped off. So basically, 30,000 people apply for this, and only 5,000 get picked.
Damn.
Okay.
That's what it was our year. And
Yeah.
me, Montana, and my other best friend from my university.
Two of them, because Christina
my friends
was,
from my
yeah,
university.
my roommate.
both came too the same year.
So you all got accepted at the same time.
We all got
right?
accepted.
Yeah,
Okay.
but all
'Cause
in
we're
different
all
positions.
badass. That's
All,
also why.
So my
Bad bitches.
roommate, one of her good college friends was a lifeguard, and then her other roommate, her roommate was janitor.
Yeah, and she
And
loved
then
it.
I worked in attraction, so I worked at the new Avatar ride when it first opened,
Mhm.
And
then
I
she
worked
was
in
in
special events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Special
what
events.
did you guys graduate from the university with?
So basically, like our degrees really didn't have much to do with Disney. It was basically like a segue to live in Orlando, work at Disney for 6 months on basically a guaranteed 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So you would have housing, it would come out of your paycheck, and then you would work for them 40 hours a week and more. If you wanted to work more power to you. You're allowed to pick up shifts and do whatever your heart desires.
But you could. It's hard to pick up shifts unless you're in a certain position.
Yeah, you have to be like kind of prereqs, and there was a lot of stuff.
I
we
saved
learned.
up to go and do this because
that sounds like you got to do that.
You
if
get
you-
in to Disney for free.
Yeah.
But I lived in a 4.5. There was 8 girls, and my
What?
paychecks, I would work between 35 and 40 hours a week. My paychecks would be like consistently $100 to $150 a week.
Fuck that.
How did you
I would-
find
Fuck
that?
all of that.
I literally had to
that-
save up because it's like it's more about the experience and
It's
the
nuts.
training and the
How did you find
No,
that place?
listen, like at the same time.
no, it's Disney's
Disney
housing.
places where you live.
Yes, if you're
Oh.
with
so
the
they
Disney
have
College
like 4
program.
apartment complexes, and then it's a whole big ordeal, like where you live, how you pick roommates, blah blah blah. And basically, I paired Montana up with my friend who went to school with me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I lived with my best friend from my school, but we lived in different apartment complexes. But it was kind of
And
cool
her friend
because,
was
like,
great,
yeah.
but then she left halfway through, so then I got a new roommate.
yeah,
Did she suck?
the new roommate sucked. We had a lot. There was like a lot of like just Big Brother drama at Disney. Like I will say it that way. Just that you always feel like you're in trouble. Something's gonna happen. Like
The
you're
rules
always
were very strict. Like
Yeah.
like they're and I feel like some people are like the Disney people that like embody the
Yeah.
Disney rules and
Yeah.
like that's how it goes. For
Yeah.
example, the maximum amount of people you can have in your dorm is 15 people. I let my roommates know like the people that I work with at my Avatar ride. I invited them over for Halloween, and we're gonna have a little thing in the living room.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Come and join if you'd like. Whatever. And they're like, well, just so you know, like, we're going to be home. And like, there is a rule that there's only allowed 15 people. And I'm like,
No,
Narc.
but listen.
so you want me to what? Invite, you want me to, okay, so you
Listen,
6 can
though.
come. You know, I was just,
Well, and Montana lived like near the gate, and then it also had me on my like A game, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to go be a manager at Disney. I can't break any rules.
Damn.
So this was during
Yeah,
my
she was-
interview process. So like while we were all having fun halfway through, I was like, oh well, fuck, I need to stay for another 6 months. Like I don't really know what else I'm gonna
see,
do.
I knew I wasn't going to stay. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just,
you just
so like, I
said,
got a
"Fuck it."
violation once written on me.
Yeah,
because
Montana's troublemaker.
but I also like on the other side, I got a lot of awards, like because I was good at my job. But then I got because I was
you got
just
comfortable.
standing,
You
I
got
was standing
comfortable.
in the parking lot saying goodbye, and I had a beer in my hand, and the security guard goes by. It's like you
No,
can't have an
literally,
open
like-
container.
man.
Like because there's people
and
who
I
are
was like,
underage.
yeah, they're like because there's
And you're with
Motherfucker.
underage. I'm
international
like,
people too. You're with people from all over the world who are in
I'm
your
like, but
apartment
check my
complex.
ID.
and It's
I'm
crazy.
22.
Yeah.
But back to the, you guys said like the rules are super strict. I've heard that about like the actual, I know they call like the employees cast members, but like the people that dress up in like the costumes.
Oh yeah. That's
I would
all of us.
I would go to Disney with my ex all the time. Like she was obsessed with that shit.
Yeah.
And like she would look up all this crazy like Disney facts and everything. And I saw that like, you know, like the Disney princesses have to wear like a specific underwear that they give them, specific makeup, like all this, you know, crazy shit. Like I didn't think it was like that serious. Like they can't go to work, you know, in their uniform wearing a thong. You got to wear, you know, whatever underwear, you know, they give you.
I mean, really, all of us. Like, everything that we had on us, what we had to wear, like the cast member clothes, and the same thing, like for the name tag to the hat to the
They gave you
little
pants,
piece,
shirts,
pants,
everything.
shirts,
Like everything.
undershirts if your thing required. But then even like Lauren has a tattoo right here,
And
just
I
a little
had-
one, and had to wear a
so-
Band-Aid over
Well, no.
Let's put makeup on it,
Hold
right?
on.
or makeup.
It was different. Like, okay, when we were hourly, it's different. Like when you're hourly, I guess like that's the people in the costumes and the dresses and all the fancy whatever. They basically give you a picture and they're like, listen, this is what you have to wear. And you basically just get to pick your shoes. That's it.
Barely.
Barely. And if it has to be in the criteria of the costume.
Yeah.
And so like at Magic Kingdom or different places, you can't switch over whatever into different lands in the wrong costume. It has to like stay character. So there's a lot of integrity, which is cool. It's cool until it's like not cool.
Yeah.
And basically when I was a manager, like I could wear my own clothes. I ended up staying and becoming a manager and getting hired on and staying there for like 2 or 3 years as a manager at Disney, which was fun till it wasn't. Long story short, it was a bad time, but like it's okay. But I feel like they were like, oh, Lauren, this is so crazy that you have a tattoo. You have to wear a long sleeve shirt every single day. I worked at the water parks.
Ooh.
Show the tattoo to the screen. There's the camera over there.
It's just, yeah.
You can barely see it.
You can
so, I
barely
mean,
see it.
So small.
It looks
But I
like-
worked in food and beverage, so I wasn't allowed to wear makeup on or a watch or anything like that. So even if I try to use my Apple Watch, they were like, no,
No, they were.
you can't do
That's
that.
some Nazi shit, bro.
They were
That's-
strict
that's
on like my
It was a
nail
lot.
polish color. Like your nail polish color had to look natural. It was like light pink, nude.
nudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should
like-
pay for some of my therapy.
Your hair, you can't have your hair like dyed or like you can't do like half
yeah.
brunette, half blonde. Like it's very.
But this
Wow.
was pre-COVID, so I will say they have lightened up a lot, and we have not worked there in post-pandemic times.
True.
But also what I've noticed, and when I think about like people that do decide to go and do this like, you know, Disney intern, you know, college program, I feel like it's like a process to like weed out the not Disney freaks. Like I'm sure people that love Disney want to do
but
it.
those are the
Well,
people
that's
that
why we
stay.
struggled.
Like
That's
those are the
why we
people that
struggled.
stay. Like because they
That's what I mean. Like they weed out the
love-
people that aren't the Disney freaks. You know what I'm saying?
They
Oh,
do and they
absolutely.
don't. Like
It
though, like
depends how
'cause
long-
so I got paired with this like manager who basically like would interview because we were the first set of college interns to work at this ride because it was a newer ride, and so she was asking us about our experience if we wanted to stay with the company and stuff. And she'd been working there for 7 years, and I kind of asked her. I was like, "Look, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't a company for me. I love the job. I love the people I've met and the people I work with. I mean, the people I used to work with, we used to visit each other once a year in a different state. We've done Dallas, we've
Hell
done
yeah.
Minneapolis, Nashville. Like we've gone all over and just all fly there, and it's great.
yeah.
We've become really close. But then like the company, I just like couldn't get behind. And so I would ask I asked her, like, look, I'm not staying. Like, how's your experience? Like, you've been here 7 years. Do you like it? And she's like, no, like people and crowds, like, isn't really for me. Like, I don't love customer service. Like, she wants to be a teacher.
She just likes
and I was
Disney.
like, why'd you stay? And she was just like, well, my student loans, they're paying them off. And I was like, that's like not a good reason to stay. And she's just like, I'm scared to leave. Like, I don't have a safety net. I'm
Getting
just like,
$125 paychecks every.
well, no, I mean, she was a manager, but
They get a
still,
little bit more like
still
maybe.
like not great, like not what she should be getting. But it was just like more like she was just so unhappy. Like some of the people there, like
I feel like
I don't know.
I drank the Kool-Aid till like I was full. Like I was like, I can't keep doing this. And I stayed there for a long time. I enjoyed the attention to detail and the integrity and the type of story they were trying to tell. I enjoy like the little details that they had. But
That's really what it is. I mean, they're just trying to protect their illusion.
and at the end of the day, like I hate the merchandise. I hate the parades. I hate all the stuff. But I like the fireworks. I like the castle. I like the freaking agriculture. Hell, like
Yeah.
you know,
They
a
grow
lot of
their own vegetables and shit there.
yeah. There's
Epcot's the coolest for
there's
me.
me too. There's a lot of cool stuff, and I feel like we enjoyed it while we did, and I'm glad we're not there anymore.
How did you guys leave? How did you guys leave?
So I was furloughed during the pandemic, and I declined to come back when they opened the water parks.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
no,
not. I was
mine-
like, how are you supposed to have a mask at a water park? Didn't really make sense to me, so I declined.
Why'd you leave Montana?
yeah, no, just my internship ended.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Left classy.
Yeah. Left.
Lauren was like, fuck
Left
your
on a
mask.
good
I'm
note,
out of
yeah.
here.
No, I was kind of, well, it was a better breakup that way than to like honestly have a actual breakup because the environment was so toxic.
Yeah.
To be able to be like, okay, I'm gonna leave and pack up my desk in front of everybody, I would have died. Thank God no one was there, and they were like, "Here, we'll close the room because we can't be near you." I'm like, thank God.
I guess one, like, I don't want to, like, Lauren is a good example because, like, she had a really cool internship, and then from there she worked at another really cool place that she liked. Like, not all of Disney is bad. Like,
Yeah.
there's positions and there's places that you do get treated great. That there's just other places, and Disney's a hard company to move around. Like, once you're in a position,
You're
it's
kinda
hard
stuck,
to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
can't really go to a new location. You're kind of stuck,
Yeah.
which really sucks.
That's interesting. Most companies aren't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're unionized too, which is its own conversation.
But
All right. Yeah. So
Okay.
you guys left Disney. You left Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Goodbye.
So I've known Montana for forever. I've known Lauren for forever. I see her on Facebook doing her real estate thing. Go ahead and tell us about that. What made you want to get into that? How'd you get started? Who put you on all that good shit?
So I guess like before that, right before that, I worked for a company called IQPC. It was a corporate event planning company. I started here in Tampa at their office, doing logistics. I like just big trade shows, kind of all over the states.
I'm sorry. Let's back up a little second.
Yeah.
How did we get from Disney to that?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I wanted to maybe be in events. Like I liked.
You kind
I
of
liked
like at the end of your
logistics.
internship, you just scramble on fucking LinkedIn.
Yeah,
and stuff,
well,
and
and
you're
I-
like, where do I go next? Like, what's the next thing? Like, you're freaking out because we're only making
I wanted to
$10 an
travel.
hour post grad. We're living in Orlando, making $10 an hour.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do after that? I jumped to stay there and do an internship and like Hail Mary that interview, and I got it, and then I stayed. But Montana decided
Yeah.
no, and then
I mean,
she's like,
I
"Now what?"
tried at Disney. There was a position really like in, it was another internship, and I applied. It was for events, and I knew I wanted to travel. Like it was something I always wanted to do. I lived in Kentucky for a little bit, and then kind of came back, and I just knew I wanted to see the world if I could. So yeah, I
You
started
studied
applying.
abroad and stuff. So
Yeah.
you're
I started applying. I just didn't know what's going on. I started applying. Yeah, and I went pretty far with like Children's Miracle Network, like on their events team, and another company, and then just got this one here at IQPC. They have an office here in Tampa doing logistics, and I loved it. I loved the people I worked with. I loved the job. I realized I got paid like shit. Like my starting salary was $30,000, and it was just
Yeah.
it
It's not
was but I was overworked a little bit and kind of underpaid too. Like it was just a hard thing
You
to
felt like
kind
you
of
should have gotten paid more money. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah. Well, and just the way the company was too. It was just a little bit of it was a toxic corporate environment. But so from events, I just knew I loved working with sponsors. And I also just knew that like, okay, I wanted to move. I wanted to maybe go to New York City. And I wanted to move into sales because I wanted to see if I could do it. I've saved up, enough money. I felt like, I needed a safety net.
Yeah.
I needed to maybe go with this company because it was kind of safe. So I transferred to their business development team, moved to New York City, and I was an SDR, just cold calling and
SDR.
Sales development rep. So it's basically the person like
Entry
below.
level.
It's a person below a sales rep. Like it's the person doing the cold calling scripts,
see.
it's
The
grunts, the
practicing.
grunts.
It's the grunt work, like putting things together for the person. So because you're gonna like mentor and like learn from the salesperson before
Okay, yeah.
you try.
Sure, yeah.
And then COVID happened. So I was up in New York. I moved to New York in October of 2019. And
I was locked in up there in
Oh,
New York.
March
I know it was
20
bad. Like the
I
COVID
had a
shit was bad.
I had a trip planned to go visit Montana for St. Patrick's Day. And that was literally the week that the world shut down. I was
Damn.
like, maybe I should cancel my flight.
Yeah, you should.
And it was a very interesting ending to Montana living there and how it all kind of unfolded.
no, it's crazy. So my company, corporate event planning company, and it's big. There's 17 like international offices, right? So there's stuff in King Kong, Singapore. So COVID happens in March, and for some reason, my company's like, guys, it's just the flu. March, I'm still there. The whole basically city shuts down, and my company was one of the last ones to kind of shut down. They said if you lived in the city, you still had to come into work. So I'm one of like 14 people on a subway, and COVID happened. I flew home to Tampa to see my boyfriend doing long distance and stuff, and then Southwest canceled my flight back.
Ooh, stuck.
Yeah, so I was stuck here, lived here, and then May 5th I was laid off. Didn't know what I was gonna do. Lauren came down, got drunk on the beach for like 2 weeks. It was just
literally,
just
we
taking my time. I was like, this sucks.
It was peak COVID, and we were like
That sounds fun.
quarantined,
It
and
was
we were
COVID
like, well,
getting laid off.
because
Just
I was waiting for Disney too, and I was like, they're gonna open, like whatever. I was still getting paid, and at that point, as soon as I went on employment, it was over.
yeah.
The mental health, it was bad.
It kicked in.
Yeah.
Started whooping
It was
your ass.
like
Wait. You're saying the unemployment kicked off a bad mental health spiral?
So basically, I was on Disney's. They were still paying us for quite a while. And when Montana was like, oh, we came to the beach, so I was chilling, being paid to stay home, right? I was just being a Floridian, going to the beach every once in a while to Tampa. When we lived in Orlando, where I'd come and stay with Montana, and they were like, hey guys, we're going to kick you off, and you guys have to go to unemployment. And basically I think it's 25,000 people work at Disney in Orlando, went on unemployment, and we like crashed the website, and it was just tragic, and it was horrible, and I hate that time of my life.
How'd you get through it?
Me.
I cried a lot. So basically,
Oh Lord.
well, no, it's okay. So basically, I was like, I'm a workaholic. I admit it here. And I was like, I cannot not work. I feel like a bum here, even
Right.
though it's COVID, right? We're staying to stay home. Disney's like, stay home. I just hated being on the unemployment site, even though it was probably like 2 months, and sitting on that every week and just like pressing a button and like waiting for 8 hours to get $300 freaking dollars. And I literally hated it. It was
bad.
Would you say it was being on the unemployment itself, or just the fact that you had no job and no
I think
purpose daily?
It was that. It was like I was waiting for a possibility to maybe work at Disney, but like the future at Disney didn't make sense to me. I was like, I couldn't see it. And so I was kind of contemplating what I should do with my life at the same time. So I was like, okay, this is not fulfilling me. Is Orlando right? I don't really know. And so basically at that point I was like, okay, I need to move to Charlotte to live with my sister, because I just wasn't getting Orlando was a ghost town. Like when I tell you, basically, I mean, where I lived as well, like I lived, you could throw a baseball to Epcot. And we were super duper close. It was very convenient for my job, very close to the airport for my boyfriend. he traveled for work. And so at that point, I was like, okay, well, we just need to leave because there was no jobs. There was nothing happening. You couldn't go anywhere. It was like dead.
Yeah.
All the local businesses were dying because there's no tourists. Like, it was just so sad and depressing. So I moved to Charlotte to live with my sister, and I worked at Chick-fil-A, and it was horrible. Oh my God, it is so sad. It's like a child sweatshop.
Free nuggets.
And you know what?
Dude, what is
I
that?
hate all those owner operators because they make millions of dollars, and they're people who work for them are like getting paid nothing, and they literally are working so hard and serving so much food for what, and they get treated like trash.
Montana,
Yeah.
what happened after? How did you get from events management to real estate? Then?
Yeah. So, I was the 5th round of layoffs. The company, they ended up laying off 75% company wide. It was actually just crazy, but events were done. And so, I took my little 2-week hiatus. And then a family friend, I started updating my resume, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. A lot of my events were centered around like contact centers. So I thought I was going to do maybe something in that space, like whether it was like with AI or technology or digital transfer. I had no idea. I knew enough about it and just came from sales. But family friend reached out to me saying he's a real estate broker and a mortgage broker. Told me to come try real estate, that I'd be good at it. My boyfriend was also a real estate agent, so I figured if I had any questions, I like to call him my little free real estate consultant because I just ask him questions if I have any. And got my license and just haven't looked back. I don't necessarily do my real estate business the most conventional way, or I guess like the way that you would think that a realtor does their business, right? Which is like a lot of networking, a lot of like social media marketing, or just like a lot of word of mouth and kind of organic, right? Like friends and family who they know kind of a thing, right? So my old broker, he bought leads. So that's kind of, I've left that broker. I'm now with Coldwell Banker. But I now buy my own leads, and that's kind of how I do my business now. Because I kind of had that from my last sales job, and I loved lead generation. And I didn't mind cold calling. I loved just talking on the phone. So, I love it.
So like you said that you do a different, you just do, like you said, you buy the leads, because that's honestly, like, time is money. Money is time. Like, if you can just buy the leads and just have them right there and just, be able to fire them off and get them in your office, that's a lot easier than, hoping you give someone a card and hoping that they call you back, or hoping someone's friend calls you back. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely, a good way to do it.
Yeah. Right. Just, a lot of it's, it just depends, right? Like on what the cost is, like how expensive the lead is and how qualified the lead is. I mean, sometimes people call in and they are the owner of the house, or they're another real estate agent. And I'm like, okay, you're now wasting my money because that's not a lead that is anything I can do with. But enough of them are qualified that those, are fine that I get, right? Like not all of them are going to convert, but enough of them do. But a lot of them are bullshit too.
You're going to have to link up with Wesley. He's doing, house
mortgage,
loans. He's in mortgage. So, you might want to link up with that guy.
How did you know that Wesley was doing that?
Oh, when I just saw him.
Oh, he told you?
Yeah.
That quick?
Well, because he was like, you're a real estate agent. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm in mortgages at Regions. Yeah.
Yeah, he just started.
Yeah.
we were talking about it yesterday. And he sounds, really into it.
Yeah.
He actually went out to, I think it was like Alabama for like a week. He was out there, training or whatever. And he seems to really like it. I'm really happy for the kid.
Yeah.
Like, he loves it.
Yeah, no, the market's crazy. It's a good time to get into it.
Did you pull Lauren into that world?
So right now I'm kind of on like
she'd also be good at property management, I'd say too. Like on like the Airbnb or like rental site, because she also likes logistics.
And I like party planning, and I like, I don't know, making people feel special in a space. Like when my friends would come visit in Orlando, I would make it me like the Lauren Hotel. And I would like, I don't know,
Pull out
have
the
a good-
charcuterie board.
Monogram
well, no, I would
napkins.
have like, a little goodie basket for them. And I would have like the shower would have, like to go stuff and like fresh towels. But when they would stay with me, like I would make them feel at home
That's
because I
awesome.
had a master bedroom. I lived with like 4 of the girls. When you talk about characters, one of my roommates was Mickey Mouse. Shout out Michaela.
Oh, she acted
She was-
Mickey Mouse at Disney.
She was Mickey Mouse.
Oh, okay.
She
Dope,
was
dope.
friends. That's what you have to say. She was friends with Mickey.
She was friends
But-
with Mickey.
Yeah, so I lived in a house of like 4
I'm
girls.
sorry, you said that's what you have to say.
That's what you have to
Fuck
say.
them.
Yeah, whatever.
She was in the
Mickey.
Disney costume.
She already
was
said the
Mickey,
other
Dot
thing,
on
so
whatever.
I'm sorry. To be clear, like if you were speaking with other staff at Disney
Mm-hmm.
and you were saying that you were talking in reference to, I'm sorry, her name was Kayla.
Yeah, we can call it Kayla.
Kayla. She doesn't play or Mickey. She doesn't wear Mickey's costume. She is friends with Mickey.
She is friends with Mickey.
You would have to say that.
Yeah.
Party planning, like Airbnb, like I don't know
I'm
about
just
how
hospitable.
Airbnb works, but like
So-
you can add those extra packages, and that could be something that you offer, right?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Montana, do you know more about like how that structure is? Like, do like people just like own a bunch of properties, I guess, and like get somebody like maybe a Lauren to like set up this kind of stuff for them? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because Airbnb it like does take up a lot of more of your time, right? Like it's not a long term tenant. You don't only have to screen one person for the next year. It's like constant turnover, constant. Like you almost like need somebody on call, maintenance. I mean, you
somebody has
don't
to be
know.
at the property every day.
say
Yeah,
like,
it's like not every. I mean,
if there's a bachelorette party coming to stay at your house, for example, they probably want champagne, they want coolers, they want cups, they want napkins, they want different things that will help make that event and that stay easier because they might be coming from out of town. They don't want to go to the grocery store. They don't want to do stuff. So you could put that cost into the night stay and make it more elevated to
Definitely.
get that type of clientele. I mean, my most recent job has been at Trader Joe's. And so like I laughed because in their training they were like, our market is educated adults.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was
Marketing.
like, that's interesting. Why is that your target market? And they're like, well, our people are mostly just educated adults. They either graduated from high school or they graduated from college or they have more than that, a degree. And I was like, that's
not
interesting
because
the way
live
that they say
nearby.
it. But they say educated adults. People who can be like, that is an avocado. That is a tomato. No, but it's just funny. I don't know. Like with,
yeah.
just
It's a weird
interesting.
way to phrase it. I mean,
Yeah. But
Yeah. No, but like back to the Airbnb thing, like the COVID kind of took a hit, right? So like you kind of need somebody nearby, right? Like to, let's say it's vacant for a month and a half to turn up the AC and to make sure that the pool service and lawn service, like it's just like almost like a vacation home property manager, but also like somebody that also handles regular property management stuff, long-term tenants, 3-month tenants. Like it doesn't have to be just Airbnb, but,
Yeah,
if
she's trying to
you're a
recruit
property
me.
manager, you don't have to get your real estate license. So it's not
it's like a side job of being a real estate agent that you
Like,
could do without a
to become
license.
a realtor is expensive.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say like to be a property manager, like what is like the prerequisites? Like, so you have to have a certification.
have a good
you have to
friend.
have-
Yeah, like no, I think there's like a class online and like a high school degree or maybe a bachelor's degree. I don't know. I know it's a camp. No, camp license. I don't know
like
exactly
some
what
kind of-
license
some
it
kind of
is, but it's like
certification,
some
yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
certification. But like for me, when it cost me to just get my real estate license, like no deals under my belt, nothing promised, and like straight commission. It cost me a little over $5,000.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, because you have to get
Might as well get that CDO.
it's a lot that goes into it. Like your dues, I think alone are about $4,000, and then you got to get your fingerprints and your classes $250, and it's a 52-hour class.
I mean, it's an investment.
I was about to say, like
with
you
your-
could make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like you sell like a $400,000 house, you get like what 30%, 20%. What's like the percentage? Three. Jesus, I don't know. See, I don't know how this real estate stuff works.
Your
I don't
realtor
know.
30% of
I
your
don't know.
No, that's okay. It
No,
is
you're right.
confusing process.
It's,
Like
so the seller normally pays commission. So it costs me, and I typically work with buyers. I like working with buyers, and those are just the leads that kind of come in. But buyers don't. It doesn't. If you're a buyer, it doesn't. You don't pay a realtor anything.
Okay.
Like there's not a fee because they get paid at the end of the sale from the sellers of that transaction.
Yeah.
Right.
And then typically it's between 5% and 6%, but sellers have gotten really greedy in this market and like have even dropped it down like as low as 4%.
In terms of what they're giving the real estate agent. Yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of 2s, but like normally it's like either 2.5% or 3%,
Wow.
That's good
which
money,
is still
though.
good though. Like think $1 million house, that's 30 grand.
Exactly.
Right?
You don't have to sell another house
It's
for
a-
6
There's just
months.
not
Yeah,
that
it's
many
a-
of those.
People make 30 grand
no,
in a year.
It's not not the most common. But
I mean, Greg Balzamella seems like he's doing pretty well out
yeah,
there.
he does a lot of luxury.
And
Yeah.
like good looking houses, and we reached out to him. I reached out to him to have him come on, but he's too cool, I guess.
Really?
Too fucking cool.
No, he's partners with my boyfriend, like real estate partners.
They both do. Oh yeah, you did
yeah,
say
like
your
they
boyfriend is
well
real
they
estate.
have their own lead platform too.
So you're competing with your boyfriend?
I feel like the market is
Not really,
just so open. There's
It's
so many
so big.
opportunities. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
I feel like in Florida
I
too, because
would've-
like
I
so many
would've
people are
quit
moving
if-
here.
Have you
I didn't have-
have you made a lot of sales? Like how long have you been doing this now?
Tell
in
them what your
total?
goal was last year.
yeah. So I've done a lot of sales.
How long have you been doing it for?
About 2
Snap
years.
your Monty.
About
About
2
2
years.
years. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
So my first year, I sold 28 houses.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Multiple per month.
28.
Sounds good
There's
to me.
Yeah.
52 weeks in a year.
So my goal for this year is 52. I'm averaging right now about 5 or 6 deals a month.
Let's go,
So
Montana,
I'm
bro.
just- but I'm by
Gold
myself. I need help.
Hey, but you're doing the damn
well,
thing,
so
though.
when I moved back down Montana, I was like, "Can you please work for me?"
Like,
Make the
Um,
ads. Make
yeah.
the
Hell
ads.
yeah, hell yeah.
So,
yeah.
what is your goal long term? I mean, because you're building money from this. What are you trying to do? I mean, you looks like you're trying to
Yeah.
recruit Montana to work some Airbnbs for you. Are
Yeah,
you
no,
trying
yeah.
to make some Airbnbs by properties? Or
Yeah,
what's going on?
yeah. So I mean, I chase volume. I don't chase numbers of houses and stuff, especially because with the lead thing, my 2 primary investors, the one came in as $105,000 lead, and the other one came in as $125,000 lead. They both have spent over $1 million with me, a couple $1 million. Like they have Airbnb projects and stuff. So I don't have like a number goal in mind, I guess is what I'm saying. I
You're
want
just trying to get
52
the bread, bro. You're
deals
just trying to
because
get the
they,
fucking bread.
yeah, well, and then it builds organically from that. But ideally, like passive income, right? Like I would
Yeah.
love investment properties. I'd love to do a flip. And I would love to, just kind of, I don't have a 401k. So like really just buy properties as my retirement,
Yeah.
kind of rent them out. I'd love to have something in Georgia.
Crypto, girl. Crypto. Bitcoin.
I have some crypto. But yeah, and then I'd like some buyers agents. But for me, I'm really passionate about the lead generation side. I think it's like a hidden gem, and I think people, like especially in the real estate industry, like think it's like BS. Like just
But
don't think
why?
they work.
Why?
So I get a lot of my leads. I don't even like through Realtor.com and Zillow. So like when you go onto a house and you find one that you like and you're like, ooh, like I want to know more about this property, or like contact agent. Like it's really small, and it says like this is not going to the listing agent. This is going to another agent that basically buys leads from us.
Yeah.
And so it goes to people like me. And then I had a point there.
Her phone is constantly
It
ringing
just
off
works.
the hook.
It just
Working
works.
out.
So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
your leads come to you.
Oh
at
yeah,
that point.
but I just like I want buyers agents like underneath me to kind of. But that's how I love the lead generation side. But people just don't work them like they should. There's nothing really about real estate that's convenient. Like it's all hours of
You
the
have to
day and
work
night.
for it.
It's my busiest days are Saturdays and Sundays, and so it's not. If you don't want to do the work, like if you don't want a cold call, if you don't want
Then they're not
the
going to
lead,
buy the
you're
leads.
just not. Well, then you're just not going to do anything with them. Like you can't wait till 8:00 that night and then call the guy. He wanted to go see it at 5. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so it's a tricky thing, but yeah, ideally I'd like some other agents working underneath me with these leads.
And I don't understand why like more real estate people don't do that, because that sounds like a surefire way to be working all the time and not have to worry about oh, is someone going to hit me up for it? Do I have to keep doing all
You've
this
seen
stuff?
Yeah.
like
Doesn't
even
make
the
any
way
sense to me.
Greg has done it. Like there's some people that are a lot better at like the social media marketing. Like if you've seen my social media, like I don't keep up with it that often. Like I don't like the feeling of having to sell myself. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like I don't know. I
It's
just
not
feel
as
kinda
organic for you. For
scummy,
him, like he's good behind the camera.
but he
and
knows
that's
all of
not
his
you.
clients. I don't know any of mine.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of different. Like I don't.
It's a different business style.
Yeah, it's different, but yeah, I mean that's
But like your boyfriend isn't that way either, and he's his
Yeah.
partner, so it's interesting
and
to
he
see how
does
different
well
people
too,
thrive
just
together.
very differently. But he's been doing it a long time.
Does your boyfriend buy the leads as well?
So him and Greg have something. It's a different platform, something that they've kind of created. I don't know like kind of the logistics, like how much they pay or anything for it. But I know like so Keaton, he started his freshman year of college. That's my boyfriend. So he started right then, and then
Like learning the process or
and starting
actually
as a real estate
selling?
agent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like so he was at USF and then kind of doing both. And then he was good friends because he went to Countryside. He was good friends with some of the guys there who went to UT, who was roommates with Greg. So then that's kind of all how they all became friends. And then got Greg the job at Remix. So when Greg started, that's kind of how the whole thing kind of went down.
Like, some solid, quality
Had some
customers lined up.
ready to go. Yeah.
That's what's up,
But,
man. It's who you know. Sometimes it's who you know.
Yeah, no, I love it though. I'm just exactly where I'm supposed to be.
That's
and
what's up.
I wouldn't have left my last job really. Like, and I hate like I don't want to say like thank God for COVID because that's not what I mean. I just mean that I crave like a safety net so much. Like that's why I waited to like move to New York because I knew I went with a job already set in place, with money already set in place, with a place to go live at.
You like having a plan. There's nothing.
But
wrong
I would
with
have
that.
stayed at this toxic corporate environment probably for just way too long. Like, and I would have just been unhappy. And it's like, it just opened up my eyes, like getting laid off really to like, God, we can do whatever we want. Like what, if you're not happy,
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
go do something else. Like, and now's your chance because really now's your chance because if
Yeah.
you quit and go try something else, nobody's going to judge you. You can be like, oh, I want to go become a belly dancer. COVID. And people are like, good.
Yeah,
go do
man.
it.
Hey, shit.
Go for it.
Because like
know?
this is like the highest rates in history of Americans like quitting their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like people realize, hey, I can make my own money. I can do what the fuck I want. So I mean, it's just what's up. I mean, I like that.
I'm
like
a
that.
quitter.
You're a quitter.
I'm a quitter. I've been a quitter.
A
since
motivated quitter.
A motivated
That's
quitter.
good.
I'm
That's
a
good.
different kind
she's
of quitter.
she's a quitter, but she's also motivated,
Yeah.
not a motivated.
You just know you don't need to be
No.
there.
I'm not at, like, I will say, like I said, I was working at Chick-fil-A, hated it. I stood up for myself. I was like, this is a child labor camp. I was like, no, thank you.
Well, because I just had like young people working there.
It was just like 14-year-olds were like working crazy hours and crazy situations and conditions for this guy to make like $10 million a year. And I was
Yeah.
like, bro, you are a bad person. I hate you. I don't want to help you make any money.
and you're not open on Sundays.
And you're not.
Fuck you.
Well, exactly. I was like, that counts as one of my days off. I was like, I don't like that. No, but it was just a weird environment. But I ended up working as a retail store manager for about 9 months, and I loved it. But it was boring. It was so boring just sitting there and trying to generate these sales. It was fun to sell clothes to people and boost their confidence. But it wasn't fun to like sit there all day and be like, ooh, can't wait for this person to maybe walk in the door.
Yeah.
And I needed more of a challenge because at Disney, I was constantly having projects, busting ass, like having the time of my life, but also like working really hard. And every day was a challenge. And so my aunt and uncle started a food truck. And they called me and they were like, hey, Lauren, do you want to come like help us? Because my degree is in hospitality.
What kind of food was it?
It's a coffee food truck.
Okay.
So they have a local roaster. It's called Stoff's in Columbus. And they cold brew all the coffee. We grind it and they have like taps. So my uncle has this great, awesome, cool method. And we nitro brew and have all these different cold brews of
Sounds
coffee
really
on taps.
good.
It's really cool. So I worked for them for about 6 months on a food truck. And it was really awesome to like see what it was like to start a business.
Right.
And I had goals of moving back to Tampa, where my boyfriend moved. He was like, I'm not going to Ohio. I love you, but I'm going back to Tampa.
Too cold.
Yeah, he was like, we're going to Tampa. And I was like, okay, so you moved there. And we moved to South Tampa. I love our place. It's literally a dream. Like
Thank you.
Yeah, what I would manifest, like literally what in your dreams you would want, right? My 17-year-old self when I moved from Tampa, if you told me that
This
this
is
would be
where
my life, I would have been like, shut up. I hate her. You dumb fuck, from Euphoria, whatever. you're such a liar. But at this rate, I'm here, I'm debt free, and I'm open to opportunity. So I'm applying to jobs. I'm trying to see what's happening. I'm applying to an LLC. I'm trying to see if I'm going to become a Disney travel agent. I'm applying to jobs that I am saying. The best advice I ever saw was a tweet.
Mm-hmm.
It said, when you're applying for a job, you have to ask for a number that you can literally say out loud without laughing. So when you're in an interview, the question that you need to say to a person is say, hi, like when you're in the conversation, be like, okay, like what is the budget for this role? Like, what is your budget that you guys are having? And they'll say like 60, 70K, right? They'll say that. And you'll be like, okay, silence. That's all you say. And then they're like, oh, like, what is your budget? And then what number can you say without laughing?
150. Okay.
Done.
95. 95. Okay, we just said it was 70. 95. Okay. Next interview, fucking, you're like, okay, well, now I need a 95 setting in this next interview. But, like, then you carry that confidence because you're like, holy crap, they're going to hit me somewhere in between because they know I'm not going to settle for 60 or whatever. So I feel like right now I'm open to opportunity. I'm naming my price. I've been through hell and back. And
Also, Lauren's been here for like 9 days.
About to say, yeah, you just got it. You just got it.
But I've been bored out of my mind. I feel so crazy because I'm like, okay, what do I do today? I'm like, okay, I got my car registered. I went to the DMV and I was like, that was 4 hours.
That's
what am I going to
another
do
step.
tomorrow?
Some shit.
Another
DMV
step.
suck.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I need to buy some
Shout out to the
shoes.
DMV.
I haven't.
No, don't shout out the DMV.
I sat there for like 6 hours, but we're good. I mean, I feel like giving yourself the opportunity to kind of chill for a sec and see what opportunities you have. Like right now, I'm not on unemployment. Like I'm working maybe a shift here and there at Trader Joe's. Like I'm very much
You chilling.
unemployed, right? But I'm not devastated unemployed like I was when I was in the stay-at-home order.
Lauren,
Right?
you just left your other job. I mean, look, I took my 2-week hiatus, and then something just came in
I'm
my
basically like on.
You're
I'm
gonna
on,
get
I'm
there.
on vacation
You're
till
gonna
like I
get
trip
there.
leave. No, but I mean the thing is like I'm a go-getter, so doing this is kind of hard. But at the same time, I feel like I'm ready for the next opportunity. But if something doesn't work out in a traditional way, Montana says like, oh, you can help me do real estate, right? Or I could be a travel agent and like make bank working, doing something I know how to do.
Or
easily.
if something,
Well-
if Desiree quits,
You know,
Oh.
I can be
You
a
know?
manager.
Doesn't
No,
it?
I
You'd
mean,
have to be here every show.
I mean,
and you'd
it's-
have to
it's fine.
reach out to people to bring them on the show.
I'll be like, oh,
Lauren could
No,
get
I'm
some
just kidding.
peeps.
Like clouded people.
no, I could get you
Yeah,
some
like
people.
Trevor McLeod.
I already reached out to him.
I mean, I
did
want
that.
my own. So that's the other thing. So I've been dealing with a lot of mental health stuff. So like that was the other thing with this whole journey is like mental health has been pushed off on the side because like I was listening to Joey Streeter's podcast, like, and with Disney too, with the restaurant lifestyle, you literally put yourself second, like your lifestyle and your being and everything else is put second because you're trying to build these it's kind of messed up, but like you kind of sign up for it. Like I was in culinary classes and stuff with y'all.
And I was gonna say that like I can 110% see you being like some kind of property manager because me and Lauren we were in culinary all throughout high school together. And like when she was in the kitchen, like she was running the kitchen, like she was like queen bitch in the kitchen, like whatever Lauren's like that's how it fucking went. Like she made everything was how it is. Her and like Angie Costa, but
Yeah,
whatever.
she's the best.
But yeah, and then like Joey was the fucking oven master. So like
You see where he is now.
I could see where what you doing that and being majorly successful. So I mean, do it. I don't see why not.
And it's definitely like a big responsibility too. Like we were in high school hustling and having this mentality. So college, and then we're in our mid 20s, and we're like, oh my god, we're still in hustling, doing the same thing. Like, who are we? Do we have hobbies? Like, what do we like to do? And I think that I had that realization within like the past year or so. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I need to focus on myself. And working and living with my aunt, I had that opportunity. And now that I'm here, I feel better. And I've been to therapy and I've been doing like things like that where you really do discover like better coping mechanisms and ways to kind of be your best you.
You've been applying to jobs, but have you thought of just like working for yourself, like creating trying to create like a business website of this hospitality thing, because I'm like, Montana like might need somebody just to organize these extra Airbnb events for her, but like there's other people that might need this. Like you could just
Be the odd
be
job gal.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like everybody
really
does
just
everything in house. They outsource in third party to like a plumber. Like, why not have somebody that organizes Airbnb events?
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely thought about it. Like coming here, I mean, that was debt free. That was my biggest thing. So now I'm coming here. I have all my credit cards paid off. I mean, the only thing I have is like my student
Nice.
loan, but whatever.
Yeah. That's till you die.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not paying that till they make me. But anyway, but at the same time, I mean, I'm coming here and I have a very open mind. I'm applying for these jobs and I'm asking for bigger numbers than I ever had before in these interviews, right? And I'm hoping I get them. But if I don't, then I have a good feeling that it is going to work out. And I do have Montana. I am applying. I have just applied to.
I can pay her I can pay her for temporary tasks
Yeah.
to see if it's something that she likes long term. Ultimately, like she wouldn't be a property manager for me.
I need to get an LLC.
She needs
So
to.
that's the
I think
first
she'd
step.
be good at it. She needs to figure it out if she likes to do it.
Yeah. And I think like too, I just need to have a way to like show the profit too. So like getting an LLC was like my big thing, because if I was a travel agent or I also want to start a podcast, I've done it and I've also pulled out twice, but I think it's a lot with my self-confidence and my scared about how people are going to think about me.
You,
but
you just got to do it.
No, but that's what coming here was a big thing too. And my podcast is called Good Golly Laren.
Good golly, Lauren.
But it would just be like my crazy stories, like we were telling you off camera. But you know, our fun stories and stuff like that, that kind of, I don't know, makes you giggle. And there's Laurenisms that I want to kind of share with the world. And
Laurenisms, I love
to
that.
brighten people's day. And yeah.
1 out of 10.
What?
1 out of 10.
She's a 10.
No, I mean, like,
I know.
how lit are you?
How lit am I? I feel like I'm always like at a like 4 or 5.
All right, bet you good then.
Yeah.
You're taking a shot.
Oh man, this is
What is that?
One
You
more
guys
I
are some
rolled. It's a
generous
birthday
guys.
cake.
Montana.
Juicy J.
Okay. All right. So this is the closing question we
Okay.
ask every person that comes on here. You can hit it. You go ahead.
Okay.
Um,
It's not on you.
So
Lauren can go first if she's got one.
this is
Yeah,
just for
no,
for
she
either
does.
one of you.
You
This
guys
is
both do.
Either one of you.
have you ever had a paranormal experience, alien, something you couldn't explain happened here?
This is your question that you ask every.
Everybody.
So far, yeah. So far, every
Okay.
episode that's aired.
Okay. So, it's not me personally, but can I tell it from my mom?
Yeah, I mean, if you know it that well, sure, why not?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my mom's best friend bought a house in Chicago that was built in the 1800s. It was like super duper old. They restored it from the inside out. It had like a basement, and it was about 3 stories with the basement. And when they were probably the 5th or the 6th owners of the house, the first and second owners did most of the restoration, and they made it, did all the walls. And my aunt and my uncle decided to like hit a lot of the walls down and do different things. As soon as they did that, weird things started happening in their house.
Ooh.
And it was more of like the AC would switch and things like that. And they'd be
Doors
like,
closing.
well, it was more of just like the AC tripping or the lights going off. And they would like leave the room and they'd be like, this is different. Like, why isn't okay? And so, they started to live through it. And my aunt had a son, and my aunt warned my mom when she stayed one time. She was like, hey, you need to leave. All the rooms were upstairs. So there was 4 bedrooms upstairs. Mm-hmm. They all kind of looked over to the stairs that went downstairs, correct? Like they had a landing that they all looked out.
Okay.
And so my mom could see the baby's room, and then the baby's room could see my mom, and then there was another room that could see my aunt and uncle's room. So my mom had her door open, and her suitcase was like over to the right standing up. And my mom like closed the door, and she got changed, and she was reading her book, and she forgot to open her door back up. And so basically when my mom went to sleep, she was like, oh, I looked into the baby's room before I closed the door and changed. And she was like, I just saw the curtains, like they were just, I noticed the curtains in the baby's room and stuff in there. Like, she's like, it wasn't totally dark. I could see into the room, right? And she would just remember looking into there, right? And so my mom closed the door and she fell asleep with the door closed on accident because she was reading. And my mom woke up to the door swung open and her suitcase slammed down to the ground.
Like she heard it hit the ground and the door swing open.
So that's how she woke up.
Okay.
Her suitcase slammed to the ground and then the door was open. And then she looked over and the curtains or whatever were like weird. And then my aunt, she screamed. She was like, pulled the covers up and she screamed. And my aunt came in. She was like, dude, why did you close the door? I told you. She's like, that you cannot do this.
Yeah.
And my mom was so upset and she was so scared. She was like,
I'm
she
leaving.
couldn't sleep alone. So my aunt slept with her. But yeah.
So they don't like the doors being closed.
Yeah. But I think it's funny that my aunt kind of knew what the
Triggers were.
yeah, and it's something too. I asked her like living there, how did you feel? And she was like, honestly, it was a cool experience because you knew that you weren't always in control. And I feel like that's cool about paranormal is like, I believe in something higher. I believe in the universe, but I'm not really sure what. And with ghosts and stuff, sometimes
I
people...
do not think I would like living in a paranormal life.
Hell no.
No, but I feel like if they're not really like fucking you up, you could like live to coexist till you moved on.
It's
You're
just
not
in
going
your
to
head all the time. Oh, what's
yeah,
going
but
to
if
happen
you're going to
next? What's
put
going to
bad
happen
energy
next? Fuck
into
that.
the world, it's going to be a bad experience. But if you're like, listen, I know what pisses them off until I figure this out, I'm not going to be like, I hate you till I leave. This is going to be a bad relationship. They're going to be like, fuck you, bro. I'm going to link your life living hell.
I've had 3 experiences, and all of them, I would never want that to happen ever again on a daily basis ever in my life, ever.
It's the vibe, right?
What happened to you, Montana?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the craziest thing about this story. So it's my stepdad's cousins up in Buffalo, New York. We're staying at our cousin's house. Our cousins, I'm the oldest, and then we're all like, there's one 6 months younger than me, 6 months after that, 6 months after that. My sister's like number 4, and then there's 2 under her. So we're all like pretty close in age, right? So we decide, and we're like probably like 14, 15, 16-ish. And we go and they have an Ouija board.
Oh,
So,
Lord.
yeah.
Goddamn.
So-
Cut to the chase. They're having a Ouija
And
board.
it's snowing, right? So we go up to the attic, and it's like in New York, like there's like a window like outside, so you can see like the outside. We turn off all the lights up there. We have like a cross. We have salt. I don't even know. We have water in this Ouija board.
Y'all playing.
And then like we started asking questions, but like, nothing really happened, right? So whatever. We go out to dinner. We come back at night. And all the cousins are sleeping in the living room. We're all in like sleeping bags, like out in the living room.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so my sister and I, we have the exact same story and the exact same experience, but we did not wake up and talk to each other at the time. Okay, so I wake up in the middle of the night and I look over at the stairs and there's stairs going up, and there's this guy standing in like a trench coat with like a black top hat. I swear to God.
Dude, that's what my mom saw in the curtains. Okay,
listen,
I couldn't remember like
I
exactly what it was.
swear to God. I swear to God. And I like look and I sit up and I'm like staring at it. And I'm like and I can just see the shadow and he like doesn't move and I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, right? And I can just see the shadow like just like not moving but like intensely. So I go back down and I like just like convince myself it's like not real, right? And I eventually fall asleep. Yeah. And then the next morning we're at breakfast and I like bring it up like casually, like we're like talking about it, like the Ouija board
to your sister, or who'd you bring
no,
it
just like to the cousin.
everybody.
It's just like the cousin at the kids' table or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I swear to God, I saw this guy. And my sister was like, was it the guy in the top hat? I was like, with the motherfucking trench coat. And I swear to God, she was like, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw this guy standing in the stairs. I was like, Michaela, I was like, this is not funny. Like if you're like, and then like we tell the cop like, and nobody fucking believes us. But like if you ask us each separately different questions about the same story, we'll have the same answers, even though like they're new questions, right? Like that we just like hadn't thought of. Like, oh, like what time is it? Like we could probably like come up with the same time. Like, where were you? Like we know we were in sleeping bags. We know, like it's the exact same fucking story down to a T. Yeah. And people are like still like, no.
And I believe.
And I'm like, I believe. I swear to God,
that's evidence
it was
of
the
an external
craziest.
force that you both have the same thing.
The same.
You
thing.
looked at me weird.
You said your mom. You said your mom when
she mentioned
when the door slammed open and she looked at the curtains. She
saw It was like a man in a top hat and
By the
Oh my
curtains.
God.
so basically
Okay.
like a broad structure with like a hat or something like
Just the figure of a man by the
yeah.
curtains.
Yeah.
And it was a long.
Well,
That's what people say. Like when you have like sleep paralysis, is like if you wake up during sleep paralysis, you see a man in a trench coat. So I don't
even
know
talk
how.
to me about like fucking dreams. My dreams are crazy.
That's nuts. Wait, I've never heard that. I've
You,
just
you never heard that before?
No.
No. Have you heard that before, Derek?
Well, the thing is, when you have sleep paralysis and you don't understand what's happening, your brain does weird things to you to try and rationalize it, and you're also in a weird, like quasi semi-conscious
But
state,
why
so
do
you
every-
can also visualize it.
Why does everybody
see
say
a
man in a trench coat? Why does everybody
That's
say
not
that?
true.
Yeah.
That's
Why does
not
everybody
true.
say that?
No, it's a generalization. People don't always say that.
and I think my head's like, oh, the Ouija board. Like, oh, you guys like,
You woke it up.
you know, like you're just thinking of it. But I'm just like,
You guys both experienced it,
fuck,
so
and we saw the
in
same
old
thing.
in
at
like
the-
Eastern like traditions, like they say like there's some monster that's sitting on your chest, and so I imagine that back then, or like some people still today, like visualize that like somebody's sitting on their chest. Like it's different things. Like you rationalize it in weird ways if you don't really understand what's happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
Wait, so what's
Your
y'all's
dreams
story?
can tell you a lot. Yeah.
Oh, have you had one?
No, my only weird experience is that I stepped into my
Oh, yeah,
friend's
yeah.
my friend's dad's room when they weren't home, and I got this crazy feeling like
Shit.
like everything was like really heavy, like just like bad vibes.
You got a
and
really weird vibe.
and I turned around and it was gone. And the only way I rationalized it, and my intuition told me that it was their grandmother who used to live there, who's now dead, like telling me, "Not here. Don't be here right now." Because nobody was home, and I was just
Yeah.
looking around, like curious, like, "Oh,
What's going on? Yeah, and you were like, shit, back up.
Not this room."
And I have a similar experience with that. I've told it on the podcast before, but I was house sitting Wesley's house, and you remember his grandma lived in like that back room.
Yep.
So she passed away. She'd been dead for like maybe a
She's
year.
been dead for a while, but
Maybe now she's been dead for a while, but at the time she had maybe
God,
been,
Lord.
at the time she may have been dead for a year. But so I'm going there. I'm house sitting. They gave me a key to the house, whatever. So I go inside. I feed the dogs. Miss Hoff texted me. She's like, "Oh, if you just want to hang out and watch some TV, whatever, you can go ahead and do
you
that."
were like, my house is crazy. I'm gonna go hang out by myself. Like
exactly.
There's a lot of people. I'm by myself in this big house.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's the best.
So I'm going there. I'm chilling. I'm taking care of the dogs. And when I walk in, they gave me a key before they left, so I had the key with me. And every time I had been going there, it'd been like 3 days I had already been doing this. And like the fourth day, like every time I'd go in, I'd put the key on the little key hook right next to the fucking kitchen, go and do the dogs, whatever. But this day, I did what I was doing, whatever, did the dogs. I'm sitting on the couch. I made a little sandwich, whatever, eating some chips. I'm watching TV. And I just get like this weird like feeling, just like, you know what, you should probably leave. It's time to go. So I get ready. I'm putting all the dogs away. I clean up, turn the lights off. I didn't turn the lights off, but I'm getting ready to leave. And I look over at the key hook and the keys aren't fucking there. I'm like, I swear to God, like I do this every time I put the keys on the key hook. Why are they not fucking there? So I'm looking around the house. I walk back to, where Mama's, bathroom was. They're not in the bathroom. I'm walking, looking over on like the banister, the cadenza in the front of the house. They're not there.
Everywhere you went.
Everywhere I went. And so I walk back through the family room and I look in the middle of the rug and the keys are in the middle of I'm getting goosebumps. The keys are in the middle of the rug. Like they have like
And it's like a
it's
geometric,
like a geometric
pattern, so it's like
pattern
very,
on, and
very
it's
extenuated.
right in the middle. And I walked past the rug like 3 or 4 times, so I would have fucking seen it. Like,
What the fuck?
that shit fucked me up. I was like, all right, yep, time to go.
Yeah, I'm like,
time to get
Grandma
out of here.
told me to leave. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, and I have a few more, but those ones are longer, and we don't want to tell
Well,
those.
you can't go wrong with listening to your gut. Like, I feel that sometimes, even if it feels uncomfortable,
Yeah.
you have to stick with what your gut feeling is.
And like I've never had that feeling because I've known Wesley since I was 4 years old. I'm always in their house, like I'm always there, and I had that just really uncomfortable feeling. And like I said, I'd been there 3 days before hanging out and shit.
Yeah.
And it was that day. It was like, all right, yeah.
No,
I
gotta
gotta
leave.
go.
I just feel like, why count anything out, right? Like,
Exactly.
we don't know. Like,
Exactly.
like it hasn't been scientifically proven that there's no such thing as ghosts.
I believe
like,
in ghosts 110%.
and like, like we didn't think COVID was gonna happen. Like, there's so many things that like, it's just like,
They get thrown at us, and we're like,
just
we have
keep
to
an open
react,
mind.
you
Like,
know?
if you
You
see
just
something,
keep
feel
going.
something, just
Yeah.
go with your experience. And it's just like, it's not anybody's place either to like tell anybody that like it's real or not. 'cause
Exactly.
you
Seen a
just-
UFO one time.
It's just your
Yeah?
experience.
Yeah, I was just
You
at
saw
Walmart.
UFO?
I was at Walmart.
Which Walmart?
On Gun Highway.
Gun Highway,
yeah,
the
that's
OG
funny.
Walmart, the only
Oh,
There's a
Walmart.
UFO
Okay,
over
yes.
there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's
Sometimes
over
I
my
used to
house.
go at the one off Dal Mabry though, because I kind of lived in Citrus Park, so
Okay,
sometimes go
yeah.
that one.
I was just sitting in my
Where?
car.
On Dale Mabry.
It's right across the street from the Target
Yeah,
on Dal Mabry,
like North Dale Mabry.
North Dal Mabry.
Wait, like over
Have
by
you
like
got-
Chick-fil-A and Home Depot?
Near
Have you guys
Northdale.
ever seen one?
What?
A UFO? You ever seen one?
No, I've seen. There was this one time where we like, oh man, I wish we like would see a shooting star and like reeling on the dock, and then a shooting star went by. That
I've
was
been
pretty cool.
That's pretty
camping a
crazy.
lot,
But
and
no,
I've
I've never seen a UFO.
That's kind of how it looks. So
Yeah.
it's weird. It's just a light that's sitting there like static, not moving. Usually, like that's when you notice it. Like,
Is
it's
it like
just-
bigger? Like
Does
do
it
you,
kinda
like how do you
just-
differentiate it from like a star or like an airplane?
Because stars are not the size of the light is what is bigger than a
Okay.
star, and the light that I saw was not. Typically, stars are like a white light.
What color
Usually.
was the one you saw?
There was like a street lamp. You
Like
know,
a
it's like a soft
yellow,
yellowish,
green
a soft
tint.
yellowish.
The one I saw was green.
But he was different. He was not typical
Did you know
for what
that
I've
most
heard.
males are colorblind?
Huh?
You know that most males are colorblind.
I'm not.
Most colorblind people are males.
That's what I meant.
Okay, Lauren. No, I
So yeah, it's just sitting
100%.
there. It's just sitting there in the
think aliens
sky.
are real.
By the time you realize that you're just like, by the time you're like, wait a second, why is there a light? Like it's not a
It's
plane
gone.
because planes move, and then it just zoops
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then something similar happened to us when I was at Clearwater with my brother. I didn't actually see it, but they were observing something just sitting there, maybe moving just very slowly, but then gone.
Yeah. It was daylight. It was like 6:30, like about to hit sunset. And me and Eric are driving to go to his friend Kyle Brown's house. It's over there. You know where that Outback is on Gun Highway?
Yes.
Like just past Citrus Park Drive. We were turning to those apartments over there where Steven lives over there.
Yeah.
It's over there.
And there's like this big open
my
field
goodness.
at the end of the fucking, road. And we're just sitting waiting for him to come. And I'm looking out the window just on my phone. I'm looking out the window. And I see like a green light, like move real quick one way, go up, and then just gone. Green light. And
It's crazy how like really like how small we are.
and
Like
Well, and that's what I think you have to kind of. I mean, when you can't help but look at mountains and like look at yourself and go, "I'm nothing."
damn.
Yeah.
I mean, or even the ocean, and sometimes like that when you
especially
look
the
at
ocean.
the ocean, mountains. I mean, there's so many times that you are like, "I'm so little,"
Yeah.
but you have to remember, like, your head is the space that you are in the most of
Exactly.
the time. And like the people and the energy that you bring into the space, like the people that you bring into your life are going to impact your energy
so remember your old homie.
and who you are. No, really though, like you don't want to bring some toxic people. That's why you got to cut out your toxic job, cut out your toxic friend, cut out
sure.
your toxic shit, and try to rebuild like the life that you actually want.
And speaking on that, like being small, like I've seen like this video on Instagram. It was like someone's house, and then like they zoomed out to like the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and then like
The
that county,
crazy.
and then
Yeah.
that
The
state,
city, oh my God.
and then the
That's crazy.
country, and then the planet, and it just keeps going.
Just
out,
think
out,
about
out,
us
out,
from
out,
like
out,
There's
out.
these
high school, how
crazy
much I
space
went
videos that
dispersed.
like that will fast forward time like in like these increments that are like like when clearly the earth is going to disintegrate like
Yeah.
eventually like
Yeah.
it could be before then, right? But like eventually like that's like the projection kind of a thing, and it's
Yeah.
just like how small it is and like where it goes in the universe and like how big the fucking
It's-
universe
we're-
is. It's just
Our lifespan is literally like a tick,
You only get like 100 years. Like, what are you gonna do?
if 100.
If 100, but I mean, like that's a good way to think about it. What are you gonna do?
All right, so we gonna wrap it up. So we have Montana and Lauren Simmonds on this podcast again. Thanks for coming on. If you guys want to tell y'all what
Thank
they
you for
got going
having
on
us.
and all that good shit, go ahead and
Yeah.
let the camera know what's going on in your life and what you're gonna be, doing. Shout out your businesses, whatever you got going on.
yeah. Lauren, go.
You know, I'm just living life, trying my best to just move back to Tampa. I am open for work.
Hey,
No, but yeah, I just moved back to Tampa. I'm really excited. You can follow me on Instagram at goodgollylaren, Laren.
follow her.
Ow, ow.
Shout out. Montana.
And your Venmo? No, I'm just kidding.
Cash App, Venmo. Link tree, check out the link tree.
Simmons with a D.
So, Montana here. I am a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker. So, if you are looking to buy or sell a house, holla at your girl. My phone number, 813-482-3067. I'll take care of you.
We'll put it under her face.
Feel free.
All right, guys.
All right,
It
y'all.
was a pleasure
See
having
you
you.
later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Hell yeah, boy.
That was fun. That was my very first podcast. Yeah, sorry that was so long.